Hey, lovely people, Coupon and Crystal here. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I appreciate you guys so very much for all of your messages, all of your thoughts, concerns, and prayers in reference to my husband's brother passing. We appreciate you guys so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm back. And we have an interesting Frugal Tip Tuesday on today. This week's Frugal Tip Tuesday, we're actually talking about a little different topic. Okay, my husband gave me the idea for today's Frugal Tip Tuesday. We're going to talk about planning for your own funeral. Yes, that's what we're going to talk about, because what I must say is that is a topic that a lot of people honestly avoid. Okay, we don't want to think about leaving, but eventually one of these days we're all going to leave here. Okay, and we don't know when, but we don't want to leave our loved ones with the responsibility of putting you in the ground, okay? Financially, we don't want to burden a person with that. You don't want to leave your family with having to grieve and having to figure out how they're going to pay to get your remains taken care of, okay? That is a touchy subject for a lot of people, but I feel like because here on the Coupon and Crystal channel, as the Coupon Crew, we stay ready so we don't have to get ready. And I think that's a very important topic that we should all consider, because I think it's a great thing to, talk about those hard things with your family members now. Discuss those things of how you want your remains to be treated, what you would like, what you would not like. So your family knows, so your spouse knows, so your children know, so there is no, guesswork for them, okay? My mother was very meticulous about her final arrangements, okay? She wrote everything down, what she wanted to wear, how she wanted us to do stuff, what she wanted us to do with stuff, who she wanted to get what. She even told us what wig to put on her head. She had hair, but she was wearing the wig at the time. And, she wasn't playing. Like her makeup, all of that stuff. She told us what to do. And you know what? Honestly, I was okay with it. I honestly was okay with it, because that's one thing you don't want to have to be thinking about. You don't want to have to be thinking about those hard things like that. When you're grieving a person, having to deal with that is just... it's just too much. It's just absolutely too much. And I have experienced different people passing very, very close to me. My mother, my sister, both my grandmothers, my husband. So there is some things that I have experienced with that, but having to worry about the finance of it and grieving the person, you don't want to have to do that. So I encourage you all to make sure that you have something in place as far as that is. Now, I'm not going to talk on like life insurance and things of that nature, because you guys can always research that. Sometimes you can have those sort of things on your job, but I do believe it's smart to check to see what is the going rate currently. Like, what is it costing to get what you want to have for your final service? What is it going to cost? Because you can have a policy for a certain amount, and then by the time you pass, that not be enough in that time frame. Because I'm 48 now. Hopefully the Lord allows me to see many, many more years. But I'm sure the cost to bury someone today is going to be quite different 30, 40 years from now, So I think that's one thing to consider. This is a very different Frugal Tip Tuesday, but it was my husband's idea, and I actually think it was a good idea, because it's just something that people just don't talk about. They don't discuss, but it doesn't cost you a penny to talk about those things with your family, to talk about that and to discuss it and consider it. Don't just pass over the offer at your job to have a policy. If you don't have anything, get something to make sure that you're able to, if something were to happen to yourself, you're able to go ahead and have something in place so your family will be taken care of. And it's a whole nother expense to think about, okay, look at your household, look at your finance, look at your bills. Okay, if you have, in my household, there's myself and there's my husband. We look at what expenses we have, okay? So if that person were to pass, if one of us was to pass, how would those bills be taken care of? That's something to think about, you know? If that amount of money from that person's salary is taken out of the household, what would that do to your financial, what would that do to you financially? You know, Social Security is Social Security, but I promise you, I can't live off of Social Security. No. I'm just saying, no. So that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother day, talking about financial planning. But, those are things that you should really think about, especially, I don't care what age you are. I don't think it is too early or too late to consider those things. If you have not made a plan, start from today. Let's make a plan, okay? Don't say that you can't afford it, because you can afford it. Eliminate some things in your budget, eliminate some eating out, and plan for the future, because that day is coming and you don't know when it's going to come. Honestly, my sister was 42 when she passed? Nobody was expecting her to pass at 42. My mother was 67. 67 is not old at all, people. That's not old, considering there's people here that's in their 80s still kicking, okay? Got their right mind, got their whole faculties about them, So, I mean, you just never know. Honestly, actually, my husband's brother, he was 47. He was a year younger than me, and I'm 48. So we were not expecting him to leave here. So I really would encourage you guys to take the time to have that discussion with your mate. And if you don't have a mate, then have a discussion with you and the Lord, okay? And see how you can financially plan to make sure that you have that final burial expense taken care of, to where you're able to get some life insurance, write down a plan, write down the arrangements of what you would like to have done. There is no question for your family to know what you would like done with your remains. Your body is your body. What would you want? Would you like to be cremated? Or do you want to be put in a casket and put in the ground? Hard things. I know people, this is like, oh, this is a different subject, Crystal. It's not a happy-go-lucky subject like y'all used to on this channel, okay? But we are conscious of what we do on this channel, and we like to stay ready so we don't have to get ready. So I think this is a great topic, and shout out to my husband Richard for today's Frugal Tip Tuesday, because it's a needful subject. It's a needful thing to consider and talk about, guys. I hope you all are enjoying your week. I hope you're having an amazing Tuesday. It's Frugal Tip Tuesday, guys. Yeah, and let me say this. I had a great show this past weekend at the Uptown Holiday Stroll for my business Classy Accents. Yeah, I had a good show. It was good to get out and converse with customers again and interact with people. So I'm excited. I've got a new thing that I want to put on my website. I'm not going to talk about it to actually put it on there, but I will definitely show it you guys. I will share it with you all. Yes, I will, but just not today, because it's not completely together. Okay. All right, guys, that's it. Remember, click to save and you will be amazed. Bye-bye.